Hey everybody, how's it going? This is the Scrapper Tap Podcast, man. We got a title fight that we will be breaking down and giving my predictions. It's UFC 252, Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier. Man, it's going to be a good one. We got some really good fights on the card. The likes of Sean O'Malley, Marlon Vera, Junior Dos Santos, Rosenstruck. Let's see, Jim Miller, and it's going to be a fun one. Herbert Burns. We got some up-and-comers, and we got some vets. It's going to be some good fights, and we got the title fight. But real quick, before I run through those predictions, let me do a quick breakdown of UFC Fight Night. Lewis versus Olenek. Man, it was a good fight. I was wrong on the main event. I took the underdog. I thought Olenek was going to get a hold of him a little more like he did in the first round and find a way to finish it. He did not, man, but Derek Lewis looked good. He didn't let him keep him down too long, and he found that nice flying knee and then ended it with a good, amount of punches and ground and pound. Derek Lewis did his thing. Let's see what's next for him. Since he's already in the top 5, we'll see what goes down for him. Chris Weidman looked good in his return. Pretty good. He did what he had to do to get the win. That's exactly what I thought. And I was happy about it. Darren Stewart looked good as well. We almost had an upset with Ali Casey. It was a split decision, but Rivera pulled it off. Zalal looked phenomenal. Andrew Sanchez came through with a big underdog win for me, man, and knocked out Wellington Turman. I saw a lot of people on the Turman kit. And Sanchez did his thing for me. Kevin Holland, man, he's a rising star. Looked great. So there's a bunch of good fights, man. Hack Prass looked good against Munoz. So, all in all, went for 7 for 12. Not too bad. I had did decent on DK. A couple fights away from doing really good. But, hey, it is what it is. I'm going to get back on it this week and see what we can pull off, man. So I'm going to fly through the prelims real quick, give my predictions, and then I'm going to break down the main card. Here we go. This is UFC 252 this weekend. All right. First, we got, to open it up off the prelims, the plus 105, Chris Daukaus versus Parker Portis, the minus 125. They're both making their UFC debut. They're heavyweights. They are some big boys. I watched footage of both. Man, they're going in there to bang. Maybe not the most technical, but I think it's going to be a good brawl. I'm leaning towards Parker Porter, man. I like who he's faced. The competition seemed a little stiffer. And I think it's going to be a banging brawl. I think someone's going out first or second round. I think it's going to be TKO. So I'm going to take Parker Porter to get it done. He's a little older. But I like it, man. In his interviews, he sounded like he was still hungry. And I think he's going to get it done against Chris Daukaus. So that's who we'll go with for the first fight to open it up. Next, we got TJ Brown. He's the minus 170 favorite versus Danny Chavez making his debut in the UFC, the plus 150 underdog. Man, I like TJ Brown here. He trains with Bryce Mitchell, Thug Nasty, man. I think the ground game, he's going to have a huge advantage over Danny Chavez. Danny Chavez is going to go in there, and he's pretty crisp with the punching and the boxing, man. So he definitely has the fighter's chance, and if TJ Brown tries to stay up too long with him, that will not be good. Danny Chavez can definitely get it done there, but I like TJ Brown here. He had one fight in the UFC. He didn't get it done, but he didn't look too bad. He was actually winning. I believe he was winning the whole fight until, he got caught into a submission by Jordan Griffin. But it was a good fight. I like the experience, and I like who he trains with. I'm rolling with TJ Downtown Brown to get it done over Danny Chavez. But, hey, man, Danny Chavez has that puncher's chance. He's a pretty tough boxer. He throws good combos. I like him. But we're taking TJ Brown to get it done. Then we got the minus 225 Herbert Burns versus Danny Pineda. If these odds are off a little bit, I got them early in the week, so maybe they switched up. But these, I kind of glanced over them yesterday, and they looked about the same. So the minus 225 Herbert Burns versus Daniel Pineda, the plus 188. So, man, it's hard to go against the Burns brothers. I'm going to tell you that right now. I like them. And definitely Herbert looked really good in his debut in the UFC against Landwehr, which, man, I thought Landwehr had a really good shot because in other promotions he looked great. In his last win, he looked really good. Nate Landwehr is not a joke, and he caught him with that knee, knocked him out cold. And then he came back and submitted Evan Dunham right after that. So, man, this guy, he's on a little run. You don't want to go to the mat with him. Neither of the brothers. Their jiu-jitsu will shine. And I believe, he's going to stand up with Pineda for a little bit, try to catch him the way he did Landwehr, and, he definitely can. But if it gets there's any diciness, man, he's going to the ground to show his jiu-jitsu. Pineda, man, he was in the UFC in 2012, 2013, and 14. Then it was like a 6-year layoff, and now he's coming back. I watched a little tape, for the more recent tape, because he didn't look too great in his stint in the UFC originally. And, he's okay. He got that puncher's chance. He's a warrior, man. He goes in there to brawl. I think he's going to put on a good fight, but I think Herbert Burns is going to be too much for him. And I'm gonna take Herbert Burns by submission over Daniel Pineda. That's going to be a fun fight on the prelims. After that, we got the plus 235 Felice Herrig versus Viana Jandiroba, the minus 290 favorite. Wow, man, those odds are too. That's too high right there. I think this is a much closer fight. I think Herrig got the experience. She's been in there with a much tougher opponent. She's a little older, 35. Jandiroba is 32. But, man, I like the experience on Herrig. So, in 2018... she took on Michelle Waterson and lost, but that's a tough opponent. And then Carolina, she fought Carolina and went to decision with her and lost. So 2 decisions against really, really tough fighters in this women's strawweight division. And before that, she had a win over Courtney Casey. I don't know, man. The experience, I think if she can keep it up, she's going to be able to stand up and pick apart Jandiroba. Now, if Jandiroba gets to the ground, I think she's going to show her jiu-jitsu, man. She's a Brazilian. She's tough on the ground. She's his favorite for a reason, but I don't think it should be that big. Therefore, I'm taking my first underdog of the night. Yeah, my first underdog of the night, Felice Herrig. Man, it's just too close of a fight to be leaning those much odds on Jandiroba, so I'm taking Felice Herrig to get it done by decision. After that, we got Yoder versus Souza. So Leva Rentia Souza is coming in as the minus 150 favorite, and Yoder is the plus 135 underdog. Man, this is another close fight. Could go either way. I like Souza here. She had a tough fight against Van Buren, but Brianna Van Buren starting to look really good, become a tough fighter, and she has a decision win over Froto, which is a tough little girl that can bang, man. As for Yoder, I never saw too much that really stood out for her. They call her the Spider Monkey, but she lost to Randa Marcos in a decision. But Marcos ain't bad, but when she's in there with tough opponents like Mackenzie Dern, she just can't live up to it. And, she lost to Angela Hill, Mackenzie Dern. So when she gets to the, maybe she is growing. She's a little younger than Souza, so maybe she's getting better. But, I'm sorry, she's actually 32. Souza's 29. I don't know. I think everything's leaning towards Souza. I'm going to have to take the favorite, the minus 158, Renata Souza, to get it done by decision. I could see a submission going down too, but I'm going to take decision. After that, we got a fun one. We got the vet, the minus 105, Jim Miller versus Vince Pichel, the minus 115. This is basically a pick 'em. When I first looked at the fight, I liked Vince Pichel. But you just cannot sleep on Jim Miller, man, and he's proven me wrong, especially those last couple fights. I believe against Roosevelt Roberts. I took Roberts to get the win, and he subbed him, man. He looked good. You just can't sleep on this vet. He's been fighting in the UFC since like 2008. So it's been like 12 years of just, fighting top of the top. This guy's been in there with Chiesa, Alex White, Charles Oliveira, Dan Hooker. I mean, come on, man. Francisco Trinaldo, Anthony Pettis, Dustin Poirier. So, no, he hasn't beat all of these the greats that he has fought, but he has been in there with wars, and he has he's looked good and proved me wrong. Clay Guida, he got the submission, but people were expecting that. I thought that was a fight that could have been a little closer, and Jim Miller just makes it look easier than it is, man. With Vince Pichel, he just isn't as active as Jim Miller, man, and that's what's really turning me off. So he hasn't fought in 2020, and he only fought once in 2019, which was against Roosevelt Roberts, and got the win. So that's nice. But then in 2018, he only fought twice, lost to Gillespie Gillespie, and then Joaquim Silva, and then in 2017 fought one time against Damian Brown. Man, I like more active fighters, and I know he's good, man. Vince from Hell, Pichel, love the nickname. He's going to come in there and give a war. I think someone's going to sleep or a submission. I think Jim Miller's going to crack Vince and then find that submission. So I'm going to take Jim Miller by submission. It's going to be a tough one. I will have Vince Pichel on some DraftKings cards, no doubt, because this is going to be a really tough, close fight, and I think it could go either way, but I'm taking Jim Miller. All right, after that, we're going into the main card, man. This is when it starts getting really good. To start it off, we got the rematch, the minus 315 Magomed Ankalaev versus Ian Cutelaba, the plus 240 underdog. So they fought, and Cutelaba tried to bait him, act like he was hurt, and the ref fell for it, man. So did Ankalaev a little bit. But I think that's the game Cutelaba wanted. He wanted a war. He wanted to close the distance because, Ankalaev, that's the type of fight that he likes, man. He wants to stay away, pick you apart, land a couple big kicks, and, try to get you out of there. And Cutelaba wanted to make it a dirty scrap, and I like that about Cutelaba, but I don't know, man. He has to have a different game plan this time, and it's going to be tough. My head's saying go with Ankalaev, but I'm gonna take the big underdog, because I think it should also be a little bit closer as well. Ian Cutelaba, I hope he comes in with the right game plan and is able to close the distance and actually land one on Ankalaev. And I think it can actually happen. That's a huge underdog, one of the biggest underdogs of the night. So I'm going to take Ian Cutelaba to get it done. That is a fun fight. But like I said, I wouldn't put too much money on it because Ankalaev is a beast. He's a Russian that's just super strong. Not only great at wrestling, he has those fists. So really, I should be leaning to him. But I want to see Ian Cutelaba get it done, so I'm going to go with him. After that, we got another really good one. We got John Dodson, the plus 160 underdog, versus Merab Dvalishvili, the minus 200 favorite. So I'm going to start with the older fighter, the vet, John Dodson, man. He definitely has passed the victory to get it done, especially after we saw him in his last fight take out Nathaniel Wood, the up-and-comer that, a lot of people thought was going to win that one. I thought that as well. I thought he was going to out-wrestle him, but he was able to keep him up, do what he wanted to do, and fight. Before that, he fought Peter Yan. So, man, John Dodson, yeah, he's getting older, but he's still competing, and he went to decision with Yan. So, he's competing with some of the best. He went decision with Jimmy Rivera, lost as well. And before that, beat Pedro Munoz, and then came and beat Nathaniel Wood. He is not done. He definitely has many passive victory to win. If he keeps this up, he can outdo Nathaniel Wood. Now he's more of a decision fighter. He doesn't get too many KOs. Yes, his last one was KO, so people have that in their mind, and he's had a couple before. But he's gonna try to outstrike Dvalishvili. He can KO him. That is a path to victory. But man, I see the easier path to victory to be for Merab, just taking him down. His last fight, he had like 11 takedowns. I think he set a record. He's younger, 6 years younger, and he's hungry, man. He's trying to make his run right now. He beat Gustavo Lopez by decision. Probably should have finished him, but man, he had a ton of takedowns. Before that, he beat Casey Kenny, which is a good little prospect. And then before that, in 2019, he beat Brad Cantona. And then in 2018, he beat Terrion Ware and lost to Ricky Simon. So, man, he's been on a run ever since that loss to Ricky Simon in 2018. I like Merab. I think he's younger. I think he's more hungry. John Dodson's tough, man. I might slip him into a couple DraftKings lineups, but I got to go with Merab Dvalishvili to get it done by decision and a bunch of takedowns, probably 6 or 7 takedowns. I don't know if he can keep Dodson down, but I see the chain wrestling getting it done for Merab. After that, we got the plus 120 Junior Dos Santos versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik, the minus 150 favorite. So when I looked at it, I was like, okay, yeah, the odds are right, man. Rozenstruik is younger, definitely should be the favorite. He's 10-1, only has 1 KO loss, which was just against Ngannou. Here's the scary part. 3 months ago, guys. He's making his return 3 months after being knocked out. Yes, Junior Dos Santos is coming off of 2 KO losses against Curtis Blades. One against Curtis Blades, and then Ngannou as well. Before that, and right before that, he beat Derek Lewis by KO. So, good little mix. But, that was in January, man. 5-6 months? Off, is a lot better than that 3. I don't like it, man. And JDS looks super good in his in training right now, man. You go peep some pictures of him. He is in probably the best shape of his life, and the guy's just getting older. He's 36, but Rosenstruck's no spring chicken. He's 32, but for the heavyweights, that's young. So, originally I was leaning Rosenstruck, but I think JDS is going to be too smart. The vet experience is going to come into play. Rosenstruck, we don't know how he's going to look after being knocked out for the first time, taking his first MMA loss. He's a great kickboxer before this. Very experienced, so maybe he's used to or being able to take a loss and bounce right back super quick. But man, that knockout did not look good. I think JDS is going to be smart. The vet in him is going to come out. He might try to stand with him, see if he can catch that chin of Rosenstruck, but if he doesn't, I think he's going to be smart and be able to take him down. The ground game will be all his. Rosenstruck doesn't look too good from his back. He might be able to get up a few times, but if JDS keeps it up, I don't see why he will not have a problem getting it done. So I'm taking the underdog, Junior Dos Santos, to beat Rosenstruck. I could see a submission or a TKO, man, but I'm going to take a TKO. I'm going to take a KO over Rosenstruck. I really want to lean to decision. I would like to see the odds on that, but I like decision or finish, but I like JDS to get it done. Next, all right, it's the Sugar Show time. We got Sugar Sean O'Malley, the -315 versus Marlon Vera, the +240. I think y'all know who I'm going for. I'm rocking his shirt today. I'm with the Sugar Show all the way. But these odds are high, man. I guess people do not know who Marlon Vera is. He's been in wars. So he's coming off a loss against Song Yudong, which a lot of people think he won. I kind of think he won as well. I had my money on Song Yudong, so whatever, I'll take it. But at the same time, that's just me being biased. He was on a five or six fight winning streak before that, beating Andre Will, Hernandez, Frankie Saenz. And before that, in 2018, I think it was a little bit tougher competition. Let's see. Kind of. Anyways, man, he's looked good. 5 or 6 fight win streak until Song Yudong, and then that one. So maybe he's still on that streak. That's why Sean O'Malley's down and still take him on. But Sean O'Malley, man, 12-0, and I think he's 4-0 in the UFC, just looking good, coming off first round knockout. Just man, the way his stand-up game, it's something different. It's like the likes of Adesanya and, Anderson Silva, fighters like that, the long style. I just like it, man. His stand-up is really great, and I think he's only been getting better on his ground game in jiu-jitsu, so I don't see too many holes that Vera can expose. Yes, we haven't seen him on the ground too much, except like when he broke his foot that one time, so maybe Marlon Vera could try to do that, but I think Vera is going to try to stand with him, and I don't think it's going to be the right choice. I think Sugar Sean O'Malley's going to get it done, and I'm going to roll with what he says. He says bet the house on it, so I'm going to take first round KO Sugar Sean O'Malley. I'm thinking like a head kick, as long as he's not trying to force it. But his stand-up game's just too good, man. I like Sugar Sean O'Malley. I like him a lot, man, and I'm also biased. I'm a big fan. I just pre-ordered his new shirts he has coming out. So, I mean, if you really think Marlon Vera is the guy that's going to expose Sean O'Malley and get it done, hey, man, take him. The odds are great. You would win some good money, but I got to go with my boy, Sugar Sean O'Malley, because I think he's going to be a title holder eventually. So, it'd be silly for me to not take him on this next step. I got Sugar Sean O'Malley. After that, we got the one we've been waiting for, the main event, guys. We got the -110, the champion, Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier, the -110. It's a pick'em, guys. They actually got it right. They definitely got the odds right. This is a pick'em fight. Anybody can win. We're gonna start it off talking about the ways these guys can definitely get it done. Now, Daniel Cormier, we saw him in the first round. I just watched both the fights, so they would be fresh in my mind. Obviously, the first one was only one round, so we don't learn too much. But in that second fight, we did learn a lot, man. DC was able to pick up Stipe, drop him, and basically dominate that first round. And there's a lot of control on that first round. And I think if he came out and did that the second and third, it would have been more of the same thing. And I get it, taking people down, especially a big guy like Stipe, which is bigger than DC. That's tiring, but I think DC got it, man. If he can keep doing that, I think he should come in with the right game plan. Now, Stipe, he found his game plan. He found the path to victory, and it's those body shots, man. He turned to those body shots in the third round and was able to finish DC in the fourth with them. Yes, It was some headshots that actually finished the fight, but yeah, those body shots really set it up, man, and were really hurting Daniel Cormier. So I think Stipe is going to come with those a lot sooner. I see the ground game being DC's. Standing up can go either way, but you got to lean towards Stipe, man. He has the better stand up. He's knocked people out backing up. So DC rushing him and trying to close that distance because he has a big Stipe has a big reach on him. That's not a bad thing for Stipe. He can fight great moving back, man. You cannot sleep on him, and he's not a slouch on the ground. This is such a close fight. Excuse me. It really is a pick 'em. If you have somebody you're leaning towards and you have a reason why, and you're so sure they're gonna win, that's the pick, guys. Whatever your gut's telling you, you go with. This is that close of a fight. If you tell me you know who's gonna win, honestly, that's not the case, man. There's so many paths to victory, and these are heavyweights. These guys are going to be swinging. I think I want to see. I love both fighters. I truly do, man. I want to see DC end his career on top, win it, walking out. Walking away with the belt, going out on top. Not too many fighters get to do that, man. I would love to see DC do that, but this is the fight game. It's the hurt game. That's not how it. It doesn't always go like that. I don't know, man. I like DC in this one. I'm taking DC. I think he's gonna have to be smart to win this one. He's gonna have to go by the game plan, and I don't think they're over there not planning, man. He's been training with Rockhold and Velasquez, and I just don't see him not being prepared over there at AK and not coming up with a game plan to not just stand up and brawl with him. Yes, he can knock him out, and I know he's going to do some stand-up. He's going to want to try to clinch like he did in the first fight and find that punch to knock out Stipe. He's going to be doing that, but I also think he's going to use the clinch and taking Stipe down a lot more, man. So I'm going to take DC to get it done. Daniel Cormier, and I'm going to go... I want to say decision, but, man, that's a lot of rounds for those big boys to be in there. So I'm going to say TKO or decision, Daniel Cormier to get it done, man. Let me know what y'all think about this one. This is such a close fight. Let me know on the co-main event, too. I see a couple people on Vera, but not too many people. Let me know who you got, Stipe or Daniel Cormier. It's going to be a great fight, man. I appreciate y'all for listening to my predictions. Like, subscribe. Let me know who y'all got in the comments. It means a lot. Appreciate y'all. This is the Scrapper Tap Podcast.